Shabbat Shalom and Moedim L'Simcha. It's such a delight to be able to celebrate Hanukkah and Shabbat with everyone out here. This is Congregation Kol Ami. I'm Rabbi Jeff Dennis, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate the Festival of Lights together. Now, sadly, we're not going to be able to do everything that we've traditionally done. Certainly, we don't have our Menorathon. However, we've created something that I hope will fill that space of that experience for you. But that will be coming in just a moment. We're going to begin right off with the kindling of the lights of Hanukkah, and then we'll go into our good and blessing and our usual Shabbat things. So it's my delight to be able to invite up our Vice President of Education, Casey Flansbaum, to kindle the lights with us. But before she even does that, she's just going to share a little bit about what it is she does as the Vice President of Education. Come on up here.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and happy Hanukkah. So I am Casey Flansbaum, VP of Education. My primary roles are running the religious school here at Kol Ami. So I support the teachers, support the parents, support the students. I work on the curriculum, work on our calendar, which we try really hard at the beginning of the year to make right. Make sure that all of our religious school students, especially now that we're online, feel that they're getting a lot out of their education and their Jewish education. And then if we were in person, I'd be roaming the halls, making sure everybody's okay. Now that we're online, I just jump from Zoom room to Zoom room and check in on things and make sure everyone's learning. Other than that, I handle anything that comes up during religious school or outside of the religious school hours when they do.
All right, we want to thank you for everything you do, and I'm going to have you step over here to this side. Oh, the other side. There you go. And if you would kindle our lights, as always, it is starting with the newest one and working your way over. So the inside one first.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Second blessing coming.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavoteinu, bayamim hahim, bazman hazeh.
We take a moment to enjoy the sheer pleasure of looking at the glowing lights, taking that light into ourselves. And Casey, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rabbi.
What may not be known to you is that during the time of this crisis, Casey has helped take over our religious school, and she has done a remarkable job of keeping it lively, keeping it functioning, and making it both entertaining and educational for our children. So she deserves extra kol hakavod for everything she's done for us. So we really want to thank you for the work you've been doing. All right, so now it's time for us to embrace our Shabbat and get into our Shabbatness. So let's start off with some good and blessing. So the first thing I always like to mention is the people who have agreed to serve as our in-congregation minyan, who are here tonight. Besides myself, there's Joanne Barnes and Carol Rogers, Bob and Becky Leonard, Samson and Casey Flansbaum, Eric and Michelle Tell, Harold Harris. So each one of us together come together to create a real present community, but you too as our virtual community are essential to what we do. So let's do our good and blessings. Now, you may have a good and blessing that you want to share with us over the internet, and feel free to type in a chat, and our current producer, who is hidden from view, in this case, it's Samson, will let us know any good and blessing that you decide to share with us. Here, however, we first of all want to acknowledge all the birthdays. So this week, Richard Kurjan and Jennifer Brown and Kenneth Webman and Mark Halavacek, and I hope I got that right, Mark, and Florence Dickerson, Madeline Gittins, happy birthday, Madeline, Mitch Albin, and Lucas Nairman all have birthdays. So we want to wish them a happy birthday. There are no anniversaries this week, but now it's time to check in about good and blessing in the space. So anybody have a good and blessing they want to share with us? Nothing for you right now. How about for you, Harold? Anything good going on? Your job is with the Census Bureau. Okay. So, and that sounds like it's a good. All right. Well, we, the nation, thank you for doing that effort. Anybody else on this side of the room have a good and blessing to share? All right. So, I mean, I guess my good and blessing right now is that our brand new car keeps working. So that's great. I'll probably within the next week or two stop announcing that, but for right now, it keeps me very comfortable. All right, with that now, it's my delight and honor to invite up Joanne Barnes to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
A different light shines this day, a light pure and bright. Its glow is like that of an angel. Its brightness fills my heart completely. I shall rejoice and be glad. Praised are you, Holy One of blessing, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat lights.
Amen. May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat holiness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen. Yasher Koach, my dear. Thank you. And so we're going to continue now with our Kabbalat Shabbat. I'm going to invite you to go to page 6, where we're going to be doing Psalm 29. Psalm 29. Avu l'Adonai b'nei Eli, Avu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Avu l'Adonai kivod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Ascribe to Adonai, you children of God. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name, and worship Adonai in the beauty of holiness. May Adonai give strength to this people. May Adonai bless this people with peace. We're going to continue now on page 7 with Lecha Dodi. And since you don't get to hear this very often, I'll just share the translation with you. Come, beloved friend, let us greet the bride. Observe and remember 2 words the only God caused us to hear in a single utterance. Adonai is one and God's name is one for renown and glory and praise. So come, let us meet Shabbat, source of blessing, from the beginning, from of old, last in creation, but first in thought. Rouse yourself, for your light has come. Arise. Shine, awaken, awaken, give forth a song. The glory of Adonai is revealed to you. So come in peace, you crown of your husband, with rejoicing and with joy. To those who are faithful, a treasured people. Come, O Sabbath bride, come, O bride. And I'm going to designate Bob and Harold to be our greeters of Shabbat. They will close the door after we've completed the song. So we go to Lecha Dodi. Dodi likra
Kala Pene Shabbat Kabla Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala Pene Shabbat Kabla. Okay, now I'm going to change the melody, the one that everybody knows. How does it start, Lecha Dodi?
Well, there's
Yeah.
the Hopi version. Lecha Dodi likrat kala. That's the one I always use. But then the one that Lindsay used is
Shamor, Shamor, bless you, Sabor, Bidibor. No, that's not it.
all right, we're doing it my way.
Okay.
All right.
Follow the rabbi, because.
Ready?
Yeah.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmianu el haminuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem tiferet v'litila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mekedem nisucha Sof ma'aseh v'machshava tehila Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Litoreri, litoreri, kiva ore, kumi ori, uri, shir daberi, kivod Adonai, Adonai nigla. Please rise. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalalai 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela. Oh, it hadn't opened. Ive shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'zola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi lekrat kalai, yadadai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kalai, yadadai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated, everyone. And we continue with Psalm 92, a psalm for Shabbat. It is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a harp, with voice and lyre in unison. Sadiq katamar yifrach, v'ke'erez v'lebanon yizgeh, and the righteous, they shall bloom like a palm. They shall thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. We continue now with the Hatzi Kaddish, which I turn over to Dr. Nikki.
Yitgada v'yitgada shemei rabba. V'yamad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich mahutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'zman kariv. V'yemaru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, ve'alam olal meyamaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitraman, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalei, v'yitalal, shemei kudasha, bariku. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nehemata, damin ran b'yamal, v'yemaru amen.
So, whether it's in body or spirit, we invite you to rise, and Dr. Nikki will lead us in the Baruch.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach, Baruch Adonai HaMorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
We continue with Ma'ariv Aravim in English. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, whose presence fills the world, whose word makes evening fall. God opens the gates of heaven, in wisdom makes time pass and seasons change. The stars in the sky move according to God's will. Adonai of hosts is the creator of day and night, causing day and night to alternate. May God govern us always, to the end of time. Praised are you, Adonai, who makes the evening fall. Ahavat olam, and unending is your love for this people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and rejoice in your Torah and mitzvot forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life and the length of our days. And then your love shall never depart from our hearts. Blessed is Adonai, who loves the people Israel. We continue with the Shema.
Shema
Yisrael
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated and keep keeping the camera on Dr. Nikki, we're going to do the Via Hafta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות הידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מצוצות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emunah, true and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome, good and beautiful is this eternal teaching. This truth we hold to be forever certain. Adonai is our ruler, the rock of Jacob, shield of our salvation. Adonai, our God, you redeemed us from Egypt. You set us free from the house of bondage. For this, the people who felt your love sang songs of praise to you. Living God, high and exalted, mighty and awesome, who humbles the proud and raises the lowly, who frees the captive and redeems the oppressed, who is the answer to all who cry out. All praise to God Most High, the source of blessing. And like Moses and Israel, we sing this song of rejoicing, the Micha Mocha.
Yadai da 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 yadai da bim bam yadai da 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 yadai da bim bam yadai da 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 yadai da bim bam yadai da 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 yadai da bim bam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha Nedar Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot, O Sefel, Nora Tehilot, O Sefel, Yadai, da, 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 yadai, da, bim, bam, Yadai, da, 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 yadai, da, bim, bam, Ya da 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 ya da 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 bim bam ya da 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 ya da 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 bim bam.
And now a personal prayer for peace and comfort as the night falls. Hashkivenu. Grant that we lie down in peace, Adonai, our God, and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war, famine, and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful Sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. O guard our coming and our going, that always we have life and peace. We praise you, O God, whose sukkah of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai haforeh sukkot shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. which now brings us to the next part of our service, tefillah, and we stand for the first part of that. Again, whether it's in body or spirit, please rise.
Adonai Sephatai Tifta Ufi Agide Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Avotenu Vimotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagidol, Hagibor, V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'ima'ot, U'mevii Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo V'Yahava, Melech Otzer U'Mashiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Tzrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Rab Lechoshia, Mekakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somek Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umakayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidam Elah, Melech Menid Umachayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Neiman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shemcha kadosh, v'kedeshim b'kol yom v'chalukah selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
And for our Shabbat song, we're going to be doing
Vishamru.
Vishamru. Please be seated, everyone.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, lidoratam barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asod et ha-Shabbat lidoratam barit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, La'asod et ha-Shabbat lidoratam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz, vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat lidoratam barit olam. Yom bashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat ba'inafash vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam varit olam.
Adonai, our God, show favor towards your people and lovingly receive our prayers. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable to you, for you alone do we hold in reverence. And we offer you our thanks. We give thanks to you, Adonai, our God, for you are our God and the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our lives, the shield of our salvation for all generations. We thank you and we recite your praises. Let all the living affirm you and praise your name as the God of our salvation and help. Praised are you, Adonai. Goodness is your name. All praises to you. We're going to close out with Shalom Rav, and then we're going to take a moment for our own silent meditations, and then we're going to have a special Hanukkah presentation. So, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon Lecho hashalom, ki atahu melech Adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol leil u'b'chol shah, b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael.
Ve'imru Amen.
Ma nishtana haChanukkah hazeh mikol Chanukot. So how is this Hanukkah different from all other Hanukkahs? Well, for 20 years now, one of my favorite events at this congregation has been what we have dubbed Menorathon, the opportunity for the congregation at large to come out of their homes where we normally kindle our lights, and we lay out tinfoil on tables, and we all gather together, and we light, and we light, and we light, and we endanger ourselves in very exciting ways in honor of the holidays, and it's always been fantastic. Not this year. This year, we are denied that opportunity. So instead, I thought what might be a comfort to us is for us to be able to see some of the images from Hanukkah's past that we can share. So what's going to be happening? And unfortunately, this is a gift to you who are out there, because the folks in the room will not be able to see this directly. They'll have to go home and watch it replayed on their own. But what we're going to do is we're going to run a slideshow of all of the images that you have shared with me from Hanukkah here and around Congregation Kol Ami. And as we do, Dr. Nikki is going to provide us with a live soundtrack of Hanukkah songs. So I'm going to turn it over to our technicians, and we're going to start our slideshow, and we're going to start our music. And here we go.
All right, technician, ready to go? Okay. Hanukkah linda sta aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah linda sta aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Just getting over to the microphone, folks. Muchas fiestas vou fazer con alegría y placer. Muchas fiestas voy fazer con alegría y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Los pastelitos voy comer con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelitos voy comer con almendricas y la miel. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelica, ocho candelas para mí. Okay. Light the light of day tonight, the farthest candle to the right. Light the first and second too, when tomorrow's day is through. Then light 3 and then light 4, every dusk one candle more, till all 8 burn high and bright. Hanukkah tonight, when the temple was restored, rescued from the Syrian war. Oil burned bright for 8 days long, in the place where we belong, to celebrate the joyous day when we regained the right to pray to our one God in our own way. Hanukkah tonight. The words were written by Victoria Milner, and the music was written by Victoria Milner, and the words were written by Robin Paglia Dennis.
170 BCE, the Syrian Greek ruler Antiochus took control of the land of the Jews. Antiochus IV hated our people because we worship God instead of him. Our law was Torah, but Antiochus's law was his own. In furious outrage, he overthrew the high priest in Jerusalem, plundered the temple, and Jewish priests throughout the land were ordered to abolish the Torah. In the village of Modin, one priest, Matisyahu, held his ground. Brave and proud, he stood against the pagan soldiers and defied their commands. In swift and spontaneous action, his followers rose to battle, and the enemy was overcome. And thus began the Jewish revolt against the darkness of tyranny. And so it is, we remember both the bravery and the cost of freedom, but we also remember all of our precious, joyful, happy family experiences that are bound to this holiday and this time of year. So, Hag Sameach, everybody. And as soon as the slideshow is finished, we're going to do announcements.
Do you want to have a little?
Sure.
How about everybody at home?
I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of clay. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. Oh, dreidel I shall play. My dreidel's always playful. He loves to dance and spin. Oh, happy game of dreidel. Play now, let's begin. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. He loves to dance and spin. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. Come play now, let's begin.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our announcements, and they're going to be presented by, once again, Miss Casey, our amazing Vice President of Education. Come on up here. She also does a lot of work with youth, but we're going to have a separate night about that.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, again. I just wanted to share one of my Hanukkah traditions with you all, which is growing up with hair like this and sisters with hair like this. We all had to protect each other from that because we're super flammable. So shul during Hanukkah was always don't let each sister catch fire. So I'm getting a little bit of traumatic memories, but that's fine. I'll stay over here. Just a few announcements. We have tomorrow our Hanukkah drive-in, which we're really excited about. We start at 6 p.m., 5:50 if you're coming for the early showing, so you can order your food. We'll have masked and gloved car hops. They'll be bringing you drinks, latkes, and other treats. We have 3 movies planned. The first 2 are at 6 o'clock, which are the Rugrats Hanukkah special, and a cool reading of Herschel and the Hanukkah Goblins, which will be fun. At 8 o'clock, we'll be doing Full Court Miracle for the little bit of the older ones. You can still RSVP on our website, and there's more information there. Our Hanukkah candle lighting, which you saw some of tonight, will be with the rabbi and board officers, and they'll be lighting the Hanukkah each night online for Hanukkah. Tomorrow will also be at the drive-in, so it will be a little different. Link can be found on the website. That's at 6:30 every night except for tomorrow. And then we'll be having a blood drive. CKO is holding a blood drive with Carter Blood Care on January 16th, 2021. Wow, 2021. Woof. From noon until 4 p.m. here in the parking lot. In order to honor social distancing, you will need to please make an appointment first. The link you need to sign up, and all the details are on the website, as is everything else. So the website's great. I don't have a Misha Barrow.
You don't have Lucian.
Oh, I
There
lied.
it is,
I'm a
first page.
liar.
There you
I'm a
go.
liar. I'm sorry.
Not a liar, just confused.
Does anyone, we'll give you some time to send in online submissions, but does anyone in the room have somebody they'd like to add to the Misha Barrow list? Harold?
Jim Clark, Mike Nelson, Tom Holiday, Cindy Diner, Shirley Hagan, Edna Adams, and Rose Wagner.
Thank you.
Pam McCoy and Melissa Tan.
Thank you. Thank you. Husband?
Barbara Burbaum and Nancy Russo.
Thank you. In addition, we'd like to be thinking of Harry Anthony, Anna Binder, Natalie Bovino, Jeffrey Cohen, David Cook, Lena Kramer, Gordon Ellison, Tammy Ferris, Joe Friedman, Russell Goodman, Michelle Griffith, Jonathan Gray, Mel Gross, James Hart, Donald Hess, Ken Hirschman, Jody Hoffman, Jason Julian, Deb Kaufman, Alex Koenig, Lauren Koenig, Sandy Lensner, Pam McCoy, Judy Morisak, Don Neal, Violet Neff Helms, Herbert Paley, Jeannie Rosenberg, Adrian Sandler, and Myra Schussler. You can join us for the Misha Bayrock on some page of the Siddur. I don't know which one it
Page
is.
40.
Page 40. I'll remember it one day. B'chor habracha l'avotenu. Bless the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Be'erach imotenu, b'chor habracha l'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Yasher Koach. Casey, you're always providing us great exemplars of Jewish learning. And so without making any sort of aspersion upon you, you bring to mind the famous discussion in the Talmud, Megillat, where it discusses the problem. What happens if you have a camel carrying flax walking through an alleyway where someone has kindled Shabbat candles, and perchance that camel should catch on fire because of that? Who is culpable? All right, well, the president will be relieved to know that she's culpable, because she should have known that there was going to be Hanukkah in the alleyway, but we have an obligation to raise the Hanukkah higher so that doesn't happen again in the future. There we go. All right, so with that edifying moment in our minds, we're going to turn now to page 82. And I'm going to invite you all to rise for Aleinu, and we'll proceed on to Kaddish. And Eric, would you do us the honor of coming up to open the ark with me? Eric has had recent surgery on his upper body, but I think this is going to be a good therapeutic action for you. So come on up. Page 82. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gidula yotzer b'reshit, Shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama. Shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol ha'olam. V'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notei shamayim v'yosei haaretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shiratu zo, v'gopei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu epes ulato, kagatu b'torato, v'yadata hayom, v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, v'al ha'aretz mitachat eino. Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. We now recall with love and with gratitude the names of those we have recently lost, as well as those whose anniversaries of death occur this week. For Shiva in our community, we're thinking of Frank Cordova, the grandfather of Lauren Cordova, and we're thinking of Stanley Levy, the uncle of Eric Tell. Is there anyone else who has lost a loved one last 7 days? All right. For Shloshim, we continue to grieve with the Bender family who are mourning for Duncan Bender, and with Danielle Roseberry, who lost her friend Nora Collins, with Joanne Barnes, who is grieving for the death of her sister, and our former office manager, Judy Horowitz. We're also thinking of Meredith Neria, who is grieving for her uncle, Tom Kirkwood. Is there anybody else who's lost someone in the last 30 days? Thank you, Harold. We continue now with the yard sites, those whose anniversaries of death occur this week. Here at the congregation, we are aware of Shirley Albert, David Bender, Nellie Ducar, Zena Ingber, Linda Neff Lapper, Tommy Ledbetter, Robert Leonard, Erwin Skolnick, and Ann Yutkin. Is there anyone else observing a yard site, an anniversary of death?
Peter Westerfeld.
Thank you.
Paul
Westerfeld. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those names. And we remember these people. We honor their names and we honor those who love them by rising together on page 85 and reciting Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol Beit Israel, bagalal ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, Vit hadar, vit halei, vit halal, shmei dukucha, brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba mim shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all the bereaved among us. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. We're going to have a closing song. No surprises here. Ma'otzor, the mighty fortress is our God, and we'll follow that with Kiddush and the breaking of bread to conclude this festival Shabbat. So, Ma'otzor.
Ma'otzor Yeshuati Lechana Elishabeah Tikon Beit Tefilati Visham Toda Natsabeah Le'atahim Rabeah Matzur Hamabeah Azik Mor Bashir Mizmor Hanukkah Mizbeah Azik Mor Bashir Mizmor Hanukkah Mizbeah Rockaway, just let our song praise your saving power. Here amid the raging foes was our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Children of the wondrous, whether free or tethered, wake the echo of the song where you may be gathered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing, which will be all men will be free, tyrants disappearing, which will be all men will be free, tyrants disappearing.
And so it is. We draw this to a close with Kiddush, honoring Shabbat, and we'll say the Motzi, and we'll close this festival night out. But let's start with a little Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. L'chaim, everyone. Now, before I say the motzi, I just want to echo back to 2 Maccabees. In 2 Maccabees, it describes the rejoicing and the satisfaction that the people felt being able to gather once again in their temple to worship the God of Israel and to restore their land and their wholeness. Their joy was made even more profound with the knowledge that only weeks before they had been living in caves and hiding in the hills, not only from the Greeks, but from one another. May the time come soon for us that we too may come down from our shelters and from our hills, and that we may have a moment when we can all stand shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and rejoice again. That will be a truly precious moment, and we all look forward to it, knowing that the darkness does not prevail forever, light shines, and spring comes, and so it is in all matters. With that, we say our motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And I'm going to go out and spread this around, and I'm going to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom and a Moedim L'Simcha, a celebratory, positive time here at the Festival of Lights on Hanukkah. We hope to see you tomorrow in the parking lot, and we can continue rejoicing in our wonderful holidays. So with that, we close out our service.